Tired of the silence, the sugar-coated lies. Another headline screaming behind vacant eyes. They build up their walls so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day, the same damn old game, pointing all the fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building, it's starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it. From the
Hey
halls of
everybody, welcome to hashtag I'm gonna say it. All things said in today's show are alleged and for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you are below the age of 18, we request that you leave the live now. Enjoy.
Welcome in everybody on this super Saturday. At least I hope everybody has a super Saturday. It's gonna be a good Saturday for us. Listen, let me get this announcement out before I get started. Today at noon, that's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. If you go and you follow on YouTube, if you go and subscribe to Global Impact Wrestling TV, we will have a show today at noon. That's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called Wrestle Wars. Make sure you come in and make sure that you join us. And hold on one second, because we got a troll already. It's starting early this morning, so let's make sure we invite them to the block party. So let's do that, because what we're not going to do is have any type of trolling going on today, right? We won't have the type of show that we had yesterday. I promise. I promise you all that. We will not. So, oh, look at me. I'm messing up everything. All right. Yes, I won't put you all through that. We won't have that anymore. We're going to have a more professional show. Okay, so let's move right along, because we've got to get this stuff in before Global Impact Wrestling's pay-per-view comes on. So I didn't exactly know how I wanted to do this. I didn't know which one I was going to use as the first segment. But I think I'm going to go with this one first. Hey, good morning, Bessie. My Bessie Sharita in here. How you doing, love? So I think I'm going to start with this one. And I've seen a few of Gene Deal's interviews, right? But this one I haven't. And so we'll be seeing it for the first time together. Now, as you know, sometimes Gene just says what's on his mind. He don't really use TikTok-friendly words or something like that. So we may be TikTok shopping a lot, or promoting TikTok shop a lot during this live. We'll see. Let's go. This is from Jamel, aka Jamal, and the title is called "Gene Deal Breaks Silence on Diddy Beating Rico Charges and Goes Off on People Celebrating."
All right, welcome back to the channel again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for coming over. This is one of the guys I was hoping and waiting to see his reaction to the Diddy charges. Gene Deal, back on the Art of Dialogue channel. This video is like 40 minutes long. I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but I'm not gonna react to the whole video. I'm just trying to get his instant reaction. Like I said, he's been speaking out for a very, very, very long time. I'm just wanting to know, is he upset, or any other insight he may have? So Again, I'll leave the link to the original video in the description so you guys can check out more and even subscribe. All right? We ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Through Rula, it's easier to connect with a therapist who's...
And of course, the commercial would pop up. So we got to get through that.
Gene Deal, man. You already know why we here. The verdict, it came in. How you feeling about it, man?
Yo, my man, listen here. I really don't have no feelings behind it, but this shit is mad funny to me, bruh, because we've been talking about this shit for so long. And like today, I was getting all kind of prank calls. People was calling my phone talking about, Diddy didn't do it, Diddy didn't do it, Diddy didn't do it, and hang up. I was like, yeah. Then I had Unique.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Even in the comment section, man, you know, so that's why I be trying to stay out a lot of times, because it be so many trolls.
Yeah.
And you can find yourself starting to get a little upset, but you got to remember, like, a lot of people just be trying to get to you. And this, man, think about that. You getting prank calls and stuff like that. That's crazy. But expected at the same time.
Facts.
Mecca Audio called me talking about, no, Rico must go. Rico gotta go. Rico, I was like, man, these motherfuckers crazy. And you got people out of here celebrating, man.
Yeah.
Yo, check it out. They are celebrating, but he's still going to jail.
Facts.
You understand? They celebrate, I was thinking about some stuff. I said, they celebrating for a psychotic narcissist.
Welcome in, Adrian. Good Saturday morning.
sociopath.
Good Saturday morning,
Is
bestie.
this what's happening in the fucking
Thank you
hood
for
now?
coming in.
Is that's what's
Okay. He said a lot right there. He basically was calling out Diddy and calling out people who are celebrating him beating those RICO charges, even though he's still going to jail. He's in jail right now, gonna be there till October. They ain't got to see what happens with the sentencing, but he said a lot right there. I'm gonna have to trim all that out. But he was basically, he brought up, like, he's saying, is this what we're doing in the hood now? Y'all celebrating dudes who are getting other male juices put on them and licking it off, and yeah.
good in the hood? Tell me, is that what's happening in the streets, brother? Is that what the industry that came down to now?
Seems like it.
They celebrating him. This is what this man is. I talked about his character, bruh. And
Shout out to Adrian for just getting the number 3 gifter badge. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you.
court, we heard stuff that came up that none of us know. They out here celebrating. Yo, and talk about, yo, what Gene gonna do now? How Gene feel now? Gene good in the hood. I can go open up my refrigerator anytime I want to.
Facts.
Gene good in the hood. Yo, these people, like, they don't understand. You ain't lived my life, bruh. You ain't been through the stuff I've been through, seen the things I saw. What you eat don't make me And they wonder about how Gene gonna feel. I'm good. Yo, bro, let me just say something to you, man. Nah, I don't like this. I don't with this. I said this 1,000 times. In the infamous words of Brutus, for all you smart motherfuckers, when he went to the Senate and said what he said about Caesar. I'm gonna say the same shit about
Thank God.
Diddy, but in
Jamel,
my way.
aka Jamal, has
I'm not here to praise this nigga. I'd rather
bleeped
see
out
him
the
buried.
It's just
Y'all can say and feel
Grams. Good
however you
morning,
want to.
bestie. Welcome in. Good
Because
morning.
that's the way he felt about people we all used to be around and love. Y'all can't
Rap
feel
God
what I
Thanos,
feel.
welcome
Y'all
in.
See,
How you
that
doing,
is
brother?
key right there. I said, that's why I was like wanting to know about the people who have like a deep connection to this. Again, think about the video I did the other day with Kim Porter's friend, like seeming to be happy that Diddy got out, or beat those charges, I should say. Sorry, that's not going to give him life in prison. And I
Which
had
is
said I
crazy
wonder
work.
how Kim
I
Porter
don't
would feel
understand
about
that.
that.
It's just
But
Grams. Thank you for
can
the heart,
hear this in
me.
his voice, even though he's saying he's good. I know what he means. He's going to be able to continue to move forward, but at the same time, he's just thinking about all the people, especially the women that were affected by Diddy.
Hey, thank you for
You
the you're
know,
awesome. It's just
and
Grams. Thank you
I
for
know
those.
it's hit me. It's hit me. Because when you're around certain people, you perform. I mean, you end up getting this bond, this strong bond with them, and then to see them gone and knowing we don't know what he knows, only he knows it. So very, very, very. You can tell he has a.
Let me pause right there. Let me know. Put a 1 in the live for those that think Gene Deal knows more than what he's saying. Put a 2 in the live if you believe that Gene has already said everything that he knows. Just Graham says yes. She thinks he knows a lot more than what he's saying. I like and please understand. I like Big Gene, but I don't. Adrian says yes. She think he knows more than what he's saying. PK. Oh, P Kissel 22. Welcome in. Says he's extra. It's just Graham says, how could he not? And I'm right there with you, Bestie. Like we know he was around for a lot of things, and like I just want to make sure I get this out here. I like Gene. I think he's cool. I just think it's a lot more that he knows. It's just Graham said that too. Laugh out loud, extra. Adrian said it's a lot of them that are holding information. I agree with you on that. I agree completely. I agree with you all on that. I do believe, because some people say, as far as clout chasing, it's Gene. I think the incident that happened in Los Angeles with Big being unalive, I think that played, and when I say play, let me change. I don't want to use that word. I think that messes with his psyche, his mental, and that's what he's trying to right the wrong of. You see what I'm saying? And not saying that it's his fault. I'm just saying I think it messes with him a lot. It's just Graham says they are just afraid, right? And a lot of people have stated that they are afraid of what could happen because we know Diddy knows a lot of powerful people in the industry. So they are. And that has been said by multiple people.
Very deep connection to
You are
these
correct.
people who have been affected at the hands of Diddy, allegedly.
See what I see.
Should these glasses be illegal?
And here we go with a commercial. Right when we get back to the good part.
But it's good. The judge showed us today.
It's just Graham says that money can make
They
a
talking
lot
about
of
some
people
bail
disappear.
They talking about, yo, we gonna, you know, because he had 2 charges. I don't understand that people sitting there talking about he gonna get probation. No, dummy.
See?
There's a mandatory federal guidelines.
Pete Kizzle
that
22
the judge
says
has to
if
go
you see
by.
a crime
If he don't
and
go
you
by those
keep
federal guidelines and
participating,
the prosecution don't agree with it,
I think that's what
they
it's,
can
hold on.
appeal what the
And you
judge,
keep-
even what the
Oh
judge
yes,
ruling
yes,
is.
yes. Okay, that is
So
what it said.
what they gonna
And
have
I
to
don't
do?
know
He
why
gonna
I
have to
blocked
sit
that out. You
there
didn't say anything
for
wrong.
at least 6 weeks,
You didn't say anything vulgar.
and
I
they're gonna
swear,
do what they
TikTok
call
is
a
sensitive, man.
pre-sentence report. In that pre-sentence report, it's gonna
Yes,
have
it's
certain
just Grams
guidelines
or
that the
getting
judge gonna
pneumonia.
look at. The judge know the case. The judge know all what was what was thrown out. Judge know all what was contested and everything like that. The judge know the case better than anybody. Do you understand me, Mighty? So the judge is the one who's going to decide. Just like today, can we get a bail? His mama go in there and she signed for $1 million bail and all that. He think he getting bail. And then the judge read some papers. This is how dumb people is. Why you think Cassie lawyer was there the last couple of days? They already knew this was going to happen. What did I say, Mighty? I said that if it goes before January the 4th, it ain't going to look good for the prosecutor. Didn't I say that?
He did.
I said that means that they probably just get him on sexual charges. But if it goes
We love
past
TikTok
the 4th,
Shop.
that means they really want to do their job and see and get this nigga a lot of time. But we found out a
Alicia
lot
Scram
of
says
things
so many people
about this dude in
could
this
have
trial,
come
bro.
forward, but the
A lot
money shut
none
them
of us
up.
even knew.
Facts.
But they
No lies
celebrating
detected.
this.
Yeah.
This dude is psychotic. I don't care what you say, bro. You look at some of the stuff that he did, and like I say, that's what's good in the hood now. That's how y'all.
It's been said, you know, there's a lot of, you know, in the industry, they do a lot of strange things for some change. And I think
Pete
they're
Kissel
trying
says,
to
why
normalize.
didn't
Because,
Gene
you know,
leave?
in this whole case,
Why
we're
didn't
talking
Gene
about
leave? He stayed
what's
around, shaking my
consensual, what's
head.
non-consensual, right? And then,
You know, because I like Gene, I wish I could debate that with you, but I can't. I can't because it's a good question. It's a good question. He says that this wasn't going on while he was there. I don't know. I'm not saying I 100% buy that. I'm just saying I'm gonna leave it at I don't know. But that's what he said. He says that Puffy Jacket wasn't that way when he worked for him. And you know, Gina, good morning, Bestie. Thank you for you're awesome. Let's give it up to Gina. She just got the #3 gifter badge. Thank you for the support. We appreciate it, Bestie. Thank you so much. I think also when it comes to Gene, because he knew Diddy before he got famous, like that, from the same neighborhood, stuff like that. Miss Diva, good morning. Welcome in. I think that's why he stayed too. And not saying it's right, I'm just saying. Miss Diva, thank you for that heart me. Thank you so much. That's what I think. Let's give it up for Miss Diva. She just got the #3 gifter badge. Thank you. Thank you all for the support.
with Diddy, it's like what's freaky and then what's overboard. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of the comments where people were talking about, man, they trying to throw him in jail for being freaky. It's like, nah, it's a lot. It's a little deeper than that. A little deeper than that.
Right.
It's about, you know, again, a lot of people didn't testify, so I guess it don't even matter. But
P. Kizzle says, but
yeah.
he has specific
I feel
statements.
exactly what Gene is saying.
No
man.
lie. No lie at all on that.
Getting down now. Licking another man off his girl. And
I haven't eaten breakfast yet.
this was crazy, bro.
I don't think I'm hungry enough to eat breakfast
So now,
after that.
when they figure out it's going to be up to the judge, the defense and the prosecution going to get together with the judge, and they're going to try to agree on some
P.
numbers.
Kizzle. Yeah.
The defense
You
going
on
to get them
point
some
with what
numbers.
you're saying.
The prosecution
Right, it's just
gonna give
grab-
them some numbers and
kill
stuff
my
like
entire
that. And they're gonna
appetite. I
agree
think
to
I'm gonna
them.
pass on
But the
breakfast
final
today.
decision is going to be the judge. And after the judge read those letters from Cassie, lawyer, and her friend Nash, shout out to Miss Pleasant for being in the courtroom today. Cassie friend wrote a letter a 3-page letter to the judge, 3 or 4-page letter to the judge, and the judge made a statement that
Also, and I don't mean to interrupt it or stop it. Rochelle, good morning, bestie. It's just Graham says, "Oh, karma is coming for Dippy." I like that Dippy. We might start using that Dippy if you don't mind. Rochelle, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that, bestie. Hey, in addition to Cassie's attorney and her friend, what's his name, Deontay Nash, writing letters, the chef also wrote a letter. His former chef. What'd you say, Dippy? Dippy's former chef wrote a letter as well. How she feared for her safety, and I put that on my page. So if you all missed it, just go on my page. I put it on there yesterday evening. Watch.
he had completely changed his mind about some bail based on some third-party letters that he had received.
Now, yesterday we had this person on here that I had to come out of pocket with, and I apologize to you all for that. But not what I said to him, and I don't apologize to him. I stand on what I said. But this is what I was trying to tell him. And he kept saying, I know
I know the law. And he's got to stay in jail with them charges.
No, listen. The judge was actually considering the bail. So he didn't know the law. And because of the letters that came in and what they stated, he denied bail. And I'm going to go a step further. I also believe that the judge denied the bail because I don't think the judge even wanted him off of those charges. He just had to go with what the jury came back with. But I don't think he agreed with the jury is what I'm trying to say. You know? Right, it's just Grams. After he read those letters, changed his mind completely. And shout out to the judge. I think the judge was fair. For both sides, I think he was fair. I'm really impressed with Judge Submarania. It being his first federal case, I'm impressed with how he conducted himself. I'm impressed on how he had his the courtroom ran. Like, I'm impressed with him. P. Kizzle 22 says, but all these people, hold on, why do they keep keep blocking your comment? Okay, all these people never called 911. Puff, not that above the law, you can't get help. It's America. Okay, now P. Kizzle, I have to respectfully disagree with you on that. It has been brought forth a lot. I ain't gonna say a lot. Some people did go to law enforcement. However, he did have the law enforcement in his back pocket and on payroll. And so I give you one case or one lawsuit that came up. Yes, LAPD is for sure one. Yes, that is in his back pocket. And we figured that out. We established that. P. Kizzle back in March 9th, the morning of March 9th, 1977, when the greatest rapper of all time was unalived. We knew then that he had LAPD in his back pocket. But you fast forward to now and the things that happened with, you remember when Kid Cudi's car got, right? And the evidence from that mysteriously came up missing. Thank you, Gina, for the heart me. So yeah, some people did go and to the police and to the police department and told them what was happening, only for the police to call what did you call him? It's just Grams. What was the new name? Dippy. Only to call Dippy, and then he shows up to the police department with a duffel bag full of money, and they send that victim home with him. And we're gonna say alleged because we wasn't there, but yeah, PK. Unfortunately, I mean, P. Kizzle. Unfortunately, people that's supposed to protect and serve, they only protect certain people and serve victims to the abuser.
Wait, what?
Third
Unfortunately.
party letters he received.
Tiffany, thank you
So
for that
is he
heart
gonna
lead. How
let
you
him
doing,
out?
bestie?
The judge know
How's your day going?
Puff is dangerous in so many ways. The jurors know that he's dangerous in so many ways. The only reason that the prosecution went for the RICO and the racketeering because they wanted to take all his money.
Mm.
They wanted to leave him broke.
Mm.
But
This is the morning gut reset
Commercial.
recipe that took me from
You're in Indiana? I'm glad you're doing great. You're in Indiana, you said? Is that you just visiting? I'm doing great. I'm ready because this Global Impact Wrestling, we're having a little show today on YouTube. So I'm excited about that. Tiffany said he's dangerous for real. Absolutely. I don't think anybody who questions that really got a problem. And I say that with all due respect, you know. Even a holiday world. Okay. I miss living in the Midwest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I miss living in the Midwest. Hold on, it's just grams. I'm telling you, boy, TikTok is on. Not letting y'all comments come in today when you say nothing's bad. Okay, it's just Graham says there is a new lawsuit with Dippy and his son for Grape. He taught his sons how to treat women. Exactly. And this is the second lawsuit against that same son, in addition to one of his other sons having a lawsuit out on him. Yeah. The apple don't fall far from the branch or the tree and all of that.
some guidelines that said that they can still probably do that, but they can't. And this is my own assumption. Why they
Okay.
can't is because they can't prove that he made any money.
I'm going to stop the video right there. You know, when you think about all the people that are out there celebrating because he's not getting life in prison, and you know, to what Gene was saying, and I've said it too, like you're celebrating a man.
Willie Smith said welcome in. Willie Smith said these suits are coming in fast. They are, brother. They are.
Put his hands.
Hold on, we're gonna wrap up this segment, Willie, and I want to respond to that. I want to ask you a question too.
Always
It's a
talk
response
about how
question.
I feel like either people agree with it because they do it, or
my wife has said that.
You know, you have the trolls out there, but for you to be celebrating a man who did that, there's something got to be wrong with you. I can get you saying like, oh, like that's right, he wasn't trying to lead no criminal enterprise. I can get you saying that, but like, you're celebrating this man as if he didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I mean? That is just wild to me. I would advise you guys to watch this interview. I'm going to continue to watch it, but you know, so far I've had to edit out. I already see I have to edit out a lot of stuff, just because of the language that some of the words he was using.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see what he had to say right out the gate. He felt like I feel. He does.
Me too, Jamel.
Hey, appreciate y'all coming over and watching, man. Please like.
For sure. Let me like that. Let me show the homie some love on that. He always comes through with great content, fair content, calls it down the middle. Everybody go on YouTube and subscribe to Jamel, a.k.a. Jamal. And by the way, if you want to see the interview that we just listened to from Gene Deal in its entirety, you want to go to Art of Dialogue on YouTube. That's Art of Dialogue. All right, Willie, this is what I wanted to ask you, brother, because you brought up something that is, no matter how you slice, no matter how you feel about Dippy, Dippy. No matter how you feel about Dippy, it's true. Lawsuits are coming in rapidly. They were coming in before we even went to court, but definitely after court is still coming in pretty rapidly. And with that being said, Willie, let me ask you this. What is your take on it? Do you believe, because there's been some talks about there possibly being, I think we listened to it during yesterday's show, but there's been some talks about other charges possibly coming out before we even make it to the sentencing date, which is October 3rd, Tuesday, October 3rd. Before we even get there, that he'll be charged on again. Do you think that's what's going on, brother? Willie Smith said that's why they still held him. Okay. I mean, because I feel that way too. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel that way too. I feel like there's something else. Let me rephrase that. Let me say that again. Let me start over. In addition to him being a danger to society, that being one of the prevalent reasons why he didn't get granted bail. In addition to that is because I do feel like there's some other stuff that may be coming down that, as far as lawsuits, that they're going to try to file against him. Daryl Shepard, welcome in, brother. How you doing? Let me read your comment real quick. It says people are not celebrating Dippy not guilty. People just felt he was in court for the wrong charges. Okay, and I think when it comes to that, Daryl, again, I see what you're saying, and I agree with that if that's just it. But I have to disagree with you respectfully because we've had people come on my show and basically say he didn't do anything wrong as far as abusing women when we saw the video. As far as not what was it? The racket. What am I talking about? Extortion and bribery, stuff like that. People actually come on here and try to argue that when if you followed along with court, all of that was presented. So he's not a good person. And then a lot of people like to make it about, this thing here. So, but yes, I do agree. If people are saying, hey, if they're saying what you saying, that's perfectly fine. I can get with that. But what I won't do is sit here and let people pretend like nothing happened, like he did nothing wrong. Yeah, extorted. He extorted Cassie's parents, correct. He had power. And when people didn't conform to what he wanted them to do, he would get them blackballed, stuff like that. That's all I'm saying. Daryl said he's in the right place. Yeah, let him sit down and think about it for a minute. Here's what I say, Daryl, and thank you. Thank you for being, because the brother we had on yesterday, he wasn't getting it. But Daryl, thank you for saying that, brother. I love it when I have people who know how to articulate what they're saying, right? Shout out. Hey, W Daryl Shepard in the live, please. Let's give it up for him. I mean, that's, you see how he came through and stated that? That's how people need to do it. But when the moment people come and say, well, they got him wrong. He ain't guilty of that. And we see the facts that he's guilty of that. Like, come on, man. Yeah, you're going to get some pushback. Yeah, you're going to get people arguing at you. And again, let me say this for some people, because some people have no clue who Armand Wiggins is. So let me say this. First of all, shout out to Armand Wiggins. But let me make sure I say this. That brother, ever since he's been covering the trial, he has been doing this prop with the baby oil. So what the media is trying to use that headline, that bait headline saying that they were celebrating, he has never been, okay, that's fine. He has never been supportive of Dippy. That was just a skit that he would do during his live content on YouTube. And in actuality, he was using the baby oil as a prop to basically take a rib at at Dippy. You see? So I just want to get that out there because a lot of people, especially the media, is pushing the wrong narrative. Okay, so now look, let's go into the second segment. Because like I said, I was going to do this one first, but I think it was good to do it second. I think it was good to listen to Gene's interview and his perspective on it. So now let's flip it. Let's flip it. Let's come at another angle, another possibility, right? And this is from Nissy.social on YouTube. And she says, why the Diddy trial verdict feels more like a cover-up. We've made reference to certain things on why we felt it went that way. The higher ups and the powerful or the elite weren't happy with his actions as of late. We've heard and stated that the raids and everything, that was just to get the tapes, because to protect the higher ups, to know they were caught in incriminating situations on the tapes that he had. So they just wanted to get those tapes so it wouldn't get out. I mean, it's been a wide variety of things that people have stated why, you know, he had to go to court and why he had those charges and why they charged him that way when they really didn't have anything on him. They say their words, not mine. So let's see. I haven't listened to it, so we're going to hear it together. But let's see what she says or what she thinks that cover-up just may be. Let's dive right into it.
On March 25, 2024, the world watched as the Department of Homeland Security rolled up in armored vehicles and with weapons drawn, conducted a raid on the home of Sean John Combs, also known as Diddy. For decades, we heard about these lavish parties thrown by Diddy in this very home. Actors, actresses, politicians, anyone and everyone who had wealth or power attended these parties. And from some of the people who attended these parties, we heard stories
that's a strong possibility. Chocolate One, and welcome in, Chocolate
One.
One.
People like Diddy.
After all this stuff about Diddy, I called my boy. I said, man, what was they gonna do? What was gonna happen if I had stayed over there and I was drunk? He said, hey man, you was gonna be caught on tape with a triple glizzy.
It'd have been blackmail and everything.
Pause. And I don't know who this brother is. Forgive me. No shade to him. But he was saying, he was talking to some, he's in the music industry, and he was talking to one of his friends, and he was like, hey, so what was going to happen if I would have stayed at that party longer? And his friend's response to him was, you were going to be caught on tape with a triple glizzy. If you don't know what glizzy is, put a 2 in the live so I can explain it to you. Some people know, some people may not know. If you all know, then we'll move on. It's just Graham says he would have been Dippy survivor. Yes, yes, for sure. Okay, we got some 2s, and okay, so let's break that down. So in New York, New Yorkers call hot dogs glizzy. So when his friend was telling him, when he asked his friend if I would have stayed at that party longer, man, what was going on? What? And he told him, and he was telling him, you would have been caught on tape or filmed, basically filmed with triple glizzies. He's meaning you would have been filmed with 3 men graping you. That's so when he said glizzies, he's talking about the male part. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just Graham saying he would have gotten Tootsie rolled. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop and point that out, because I don't want stuff to go over people's heads. So if you didn't know what he meant by triple glizzy, yeah, I want to make sure we understand the context of what's being said. Daryl said, got it. Man need help. Yeah, he really does. And I'm not talking about no fake apology. and saying I need therapy. I'm talking about no, he seriously need psychosexual therapy is what he needs. Pete Kizzle said, so we're hold on. So were all the videos, does he still have them hid? We know during the raid that the government got a lot, took possession of a lot of them. Now, on the flip side of that, hey, good morning, Amy. Thank you for the heart me. Thank you, bestie. Now, on the flip side of that, P. Kizzle, we've also heard on the phone where he's telling his sons to get rid of the pizza box and the containers and stuff like that. So we're thinking, okay, this is not proven. This hasn't been proven or stated anywhere else. I'm just saying it, okay? P. Kizzle. El Kazan, welcome in. They refer to, when they say pizza, as people who are not of age of consent. Let me put it that way. And plastic containers, and again, this hasn't proven this. I'm just thinking that probably represents USB or jump drives. You see what I'm saying? If I had to guess. Amy said, I heard that on recording as well. See? So I don't know if he has any more or has possession of anything, but if he did, I think it was when he instructed his son to destroy it. It's probably gone. Doesn't mean he don't have backup and stuff, but Paul, welcome in. Says finally America is teaching how to fish again, not just handing them out. Okay, I don't know what that means. So, but yeah, that's exactly what I think, P. Kizzle. I don't know if he has it any in his possession. I know that they supposedly gotten them when he was when the houses were raided. But that doesn't mean that he don't have any backup. You see what I'm saying? Amy said, yep, the code words they use. Exactly. You got to be mindful of it, right? Adrian says, have you seen the breakdown of Bieber video Yummy? Yes, I have. And that's very telling. Look, anybody who hasn't seen the video for Justin Bieber's song Yummy, after the show, please go and watch it. Takes you into what we're talking about and also about what's going on with kids that's not of age of consent in the industry and what they do to them. DJ Zay, the hottest DJ on TikTok. Welcome in, brother. Thank you for coming in. How you doing this morning? Have fun. Y'all be safe. P. Kizzle says, I think he has duplicates. It's his only power left. And P. Kizzle, I also agree with you on that to a degree. And I'm going to tell you why I agree with you. Because even if you go back to an incident that happened with Cassie, when they were on the plane, remember she completely switched her seat away from him. And they were in an argument and she was mad at him about something, whatever. But on the flight home, she completely changed her seat on the plane. And then somehow or another, he finessed the person that she was sitting by when she changed her ticket, her plane ticket. He finessed them and got to sit right next to her. And she said he was gripping her thigh and like squeezing it real hard. But he was also showing on her laptop. He pulled out his laptop and was showing to her videos of her, getting hunched and what they was doing with the other people, right? And she thought they were deleted. So that lets you know that he does have backup somewhere. So I agree with you on that. DJ Zay says, I'm doing great. Just happened to be live. Oh, just happy to be alive. I feel you on that. DJ Zay says, when you got money, you can pay lawyers off. And that is so, matter of fact, let's W DJ Zay in the live because he's correct on that. He's so, it don't matter if you like it or not. It's just a fact. That is true. Amy said, what is wrong with the music industry? It's just wrong. It is completely satanic and demonic. and it's really, 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 really sad. Yeah, and it's almost the industry as a whole, the entertainment industry as a whole. And we're not saying every entertainer, music artist, no, we're not saying that, but majority of them. Willie says felons unite to repeal the Mann Act. Yes, and because they all know that they participate in that. You all are right.
Would have been under the toe.
And so, when we heard that the raid on Diddy's homes found hidden cameras and microphones in every room, we all expected the world to come crashing down on Diddy. We all expected for Hollywood secrets to be exposed.
Amy
And
says,
when
but
the
why
investigation
is the
focused on
question?
Astroglide and
I
baby
look at music
oil,
and movies
it
so
felt like there was a
differently
sleight
now.
of hand, like we were being distracted from.
Okay. Bestie, and this is deep. It's deep, and I don't think this way, and I'm pretty sure I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar you don't think this way as well. But when it comes to the industry, by the sadistic aspect of it, even though you hear them, okay. I'm trying to think of how I can say it to you, Bestie, without getting in trouble. Okay, so let me put it this way. The satanic side of the industry, they believe that, I think we need to start a Patreon so we can say what we got to say, right? They believe in energy harvesting, right? So, Father God, help me put the words in my mouth that I can say without getting in trouble, but getting the point across. The energy harvest, I told you that. And so, okay, when you have sexual relationships with someone, and I'm talking, of course, we're talking about, we do it with consent willingly. I'm talking about with anybody as an adult. When you're in that situation with someone, you are definitely transferring souls with each other, right? And so the way that the higher ups in the elite people look at it is, if they can harvest the souls from these children, it means it makes them younger, they're more youthful and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to have to reference you back to, if you go on YouTube, and I can't remember the platform, but I can tell you what to put in. Put in Orlando Brown talking about the raccoon eyes. When they call raccoon eyes, and what they mean by that is they take people who aren't the age of consent and they enter them through the back door, okay? And when they do that, it's the chakra. And from the way he explains it is that when they do that, when your chakra is hit, when they take that, it causes your eyes to bulge out, and you get these black rings or dark rings around your eyes. And so that's what's called panda eyes. So it's basically, in a nutshell, to cover all of that without getting too graphical in it, it's soul harvesting. And it allows them to have power over those people in their careers. I like to tell people to, if you chronicle when Justin Bieber came into the business, and you see when he was a little kid just coming in, he was happy, he was energetic, he was full of life. And then what happened, and we'll say allegedly happened to him, you see the decline of the soul. You see a lot of them, and he's not the only. I'm not just saying it to him. A lot of them end up going to D-Rugs and trying to escape that trauma that they went through. And they turn to alcohol and try to drink that away. And it just doesn't work. You know, it just doesn't work. So yeah, that's what's wrong with the industry in itself.
From A Bigger Story.
So if we have him, why does it seem that the story is still much bigger?
There was always something that felt off about the Diddy trial.
Hashtag True Podcast.
But he
Good
was
morning.
never charged with possession
Says
of
man
illegal
seems
weapons.
like the
They
music
found
biz
illegal
needs an
drugs in his
exorcism,
home,
and
but he was never
does.
charged with possession of illegal drugs. The day he was
And does. I'll rewind that a little bit. Hold on. I know I was talking.
They've taken this video down 3 times
Okay,
because
hold on. That's a commercial. Hold on. Let's get him off of here. We don't need him. He's not part of the show. What did I just do? Hold on. I think I hit the wrong one. I'm sorry. I did. Hold on. Okay. So, yes, it does need that, brother. You are so right. Amy says they try to numb it. Yes. Yes. I seen. There it is. Prove your comment. It's just Graham. It's just Graham says Dippy messed him up for life. He will never recover. It's insane what he went through. Exactly. And he wears that daily. Amy says, I watched I think that's Megan Thee Stallion. Yep. Documentary and how people didn't believe her and what she went through. And that's the thing. A lot of times people don't buy it, but because you got to understand, those the same elite people that control the entertainment industry control our media. And so they put it out. They make sure the media puts it out in a way, be it social media or on TV media. They make sure it's put out in a way to make the person who is trying to bring things to light from the industry seem like they're crazy. You know? Adrian says C. Stokes and M. Houston need to be next. Let's give it up for Adrian W. Adrian in the live, because that is another fact. Amy says so much. God, my heart hurts for that young lady. Yeah. And for a lot of them, like it's a shame that they go in, they have dreams and aspirations to be something in the industry, and that's all they're trying to do. And then they go out there and things like this happen, which, like I was saying before on one of my lives, just from my cousins that's been in the business and hearing conversations that they've had with people, a lot of the entertainment people and celebrities say that Los Angeles only listen. I don't want to get into this again. If somebody think I'm talking about Los Angeles, the place, as far as what the name means. I know Los Angeles means the angels. However, amongst the entertainment community and amongst those where these kind of things happen to, they say Los Angeles stands for Lost Angels, because they go there with pure intentions on making it in the business that they want to go into and meet up with people, and they suck that positivity out of them. They suck the life out of them. They suck the energy out of them. And that's why they say Lost Angels.
Baby Oil, it felt like there was a sleight of hand, like we were being distracted from a bigger story.
So if we have him, why does it seem that the story is still much bigger?
There was always something that felt off about the Diddy trial to me. They found defaced guns in his home, but he was never charged with possession of illegal weapons. They found illegal drugs in his home.
Pause. Let's give it up for Amy. She just got the #2 gifter badge. Thank you for the support, Amy. We appreciate you. Hey, Adrian says Satan was an angel too. You better talk about it. You're right.
But he was never charged with possession of illegal drugs. The day he was arrested, they found illegal drugs in his hotel room, but still, no drug charges. They could have brought those charges against him, and those charges would have been very easy to prove, but instead, they focused on Freakoffs and charged him with RICO. Many of us had hope that although these charges weren't exactly what we were all expecting, we believed that Diddy's days of getting away with his crimes would be over.
Hey, thank you for the community fest, Amy.
Seems like we're wrong.
Thank you
Here's
for the
how
GOAT.
my friend published her book in less than
Hold on,
30
I got a
days.
commercial. Thank you for the GOAT, Amy. I appreciate the gifts. I do. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, if you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your second, third, fourth time watching one of my videos, and you are not yet subscribed, already go together. Okay, make it official and hit that subscribe button. So the verdict is in for the Diddy trial. Diddy was facing up to life in prison for the crimes he was accused of, and he was only found guilty on some of the charges. The 2 counts he was found guilty of are transportation to engage in prostitution. Each of those charges comes
thank you
with
for
up
the
to 10
follow.
years in
I
prison,
appreciate
so
it.
it's up to the judge to decide how much time he wants to
it's just
give
Grams.
Diddy
Take care.
for
Have a
each
good
count,
day.
and if he
Thank
wants
you for
Diddy
coming
to
in and
serve
joining
the
us.
sentences concurrently or consecutively. As of the making of this video, the judge has denied him bail before his sentencing hearing. So, as of right now, he is still inmate 37452-054. It's a small victory for those of us who wanted to see him be held accountable. I'm accountable. And it's a small victory for his victims, but still, he got away with the more serious charges. The jury acquitted him of trafficking Cassie and Daphne, Jane, and they acquitted him of RICO. And this whole thing really doesn't sit well with my spirit. And I'll explain why. During the trial, we heard a lot about freak-offs that Cassie and Jane did in various hotel rooms such as New York, LA, Miami, and on yachts in exotic locations. And the video evidence of these freak-offs or hotel nights were shown to the jury, and much of the evidence that was presented in court came from either Cassie's cell phone and laptops, Christina Quorum's cell phones and laptops, and Jane's cell phones and laptops. But what about all the cameras and microphones Diddy had in his properties? You know, the ones that were confiscated during the raid. None of that evidence was brought up at trial. And you might be thinking, well, maybe there was no evidence taken from Diddy's home. Well, back in September of 2024, the New York Post wrote an article where they interviewed one of the Homeland Security officers who participated in this raid. And these are excerpts from that article. Quote,
thank you for the Go
"Sordid
Popular,
details have
Amy.
emerged of the
Thank you.
so-called
And thank you for sharing
rooms
out the
that
live.
found Diddy Combs
Thank you for that
allegedly
support.
in
I appreciate it,
Miami
bestie.
mansion filled with sex toys, gear, hidden cameras, and lingerie, according to the federal source."
Okay, so now, in the raid, allegedly, love it. Love the stickers. Listen, if you become a subscriber to my channel, you get a badge just like Amy has right there next to her name that says crew. Lets me know you're one of my news crew members. You get the privilege of using my special stickers in the chat. You also get notifications when I go live as well. Thank you so much for using those, Amy. Thank you. Red Heat, welcome in. So what's going on here? Please explain. Well, we're in the second segment now. So, and the second segment is from Nisi, and she's just saying how the whole Dippy thing was a cover-up. She said it feels more like a cover-up. So we're just listening to what she think they were covering up. Red Heat, thank you for the roses. I appreciate the gift. Thank you. So, dear, and Pete Kizzle, this is what you and I was talking about a few minutes ago. Okay, so they're saying that in September 2024, it came out, they said that during that raid, thank you for that heart me. I appreciate it, Red Heat. Thank you. Says the new details have emerged of the so-called Smex rooms that Dippy allegedly kept in his Miami mansion, filled with Smex toys, I don't know, bondage gear. I don't know if I can say that. Sorry, TikTok, I'm not allowed to. Please don't be mad. Hidden cameras, lingerie, according to federal sources who said the disgraced rapper is as bad as that Epstein guy. And it says one of the Department of Homeland Security agents who helped raid Dippy's Florida abode claimed that the music mogul had rooms that were clearly dedicated to basically filming Smeck stuff, right? Yeah, I don't doubt that either, Amy. I think that's 100%,
who
1,000%
said
true.
that a disgraced rapper is as bad as Epstein. One of the Department of Homeland Security agents who helped raid Diddy's Florida abode claims that the music mogul had rooms that were clearly dedicated to sex with cameras all around. So if you're in those sex parties, you're being recorded from every possible angle, including angles you wouldn't have known about. In my opinion, he's as bad as Jeffrey. These women are young, either barely legal or barely illegal.
Eating too much.
Now, we just gonna come. It went to a commercial on that anyway. That alone, right there. He said it contains people that are barely legal or barely not legal. Barely not legal. Who knows what that means? Barely not legal. That means they are not the age of consent. Now, hold on. You know what your self-proclaimed favorite news reporter is about to do, right? I'm about to tie that into something. So, 3 things I'm going to tie it into. You ready? Let's go. Just what was said. Barely not legal. So that means people who are not of age of consent. Now, let's go back to G-Man. Welcome in. G-Man in the building. I love G-Man content. Go and follow G-Man. If you go back, the night before the verdict was read, a female filed a lawsuit. The same one that filed a lawsuit against Justin, and Dippy was mentioned in it, right? Same lawsuit. She stated that Dippy has done things. Pause. Let's give congratulations and welcome Rochelle. Rochelle just subscribed, and she is the new News Crew member. Thank you for your subscription. I appreciate that, bestie. Thank you. She said that Dippy has sexually assaulted people who aren't the age of consent. Now, let's tie that in to what happened yesterday when we played that audio. Red Heat, thank you for that. Go Popular, I appreciate it. Rico, thank you for that. Cap, I appreciate it. My brother, thank you. Let's go to what we heard yesterday. The guy was saying the only reason he could think that Dippy was still locked up is the fact that there's another lawsuit or case coming down the pipeline that they are going to find him guilty of. And he suspects it'll be even before we get to October 3rd. Now, Widow Love 33, baby, welcome in. How you doing, bestie? So now, again, we're not saying that it's going to happen for sure, but we have to stop and make sure we put this feather, this proverbial feather, in our proverbial cap. September 2024 is when they gave that briefing, news break, however you want to call it. And he mentioned that they had Dippy on video having smecks with people that aren't of age of consent. And they didn't bring that up in the court this time. Then, we're just going to say, we're going to run back through it a little slow, and then we're going to go back to the audio, okay? Because I know I got to hurry up before the show starts. Okay, so here we go. Now, that was in September 2024, and they did not file any charges about him having smecks with people who aren't the age of consent. They never did that. Now, the night before the verdict came out, the lady filed a lawsuit against Dippy and his son, and in her lawsuit, she stated that he has raped people who aren't the age of consent. Now, after that, I'm gonna say that played a part in it. I don't know for sure. I hope it's not either, Red Heat, but I'm gonna be honest. Throughout his travels, throughout his actions, it's been sus with him, you know. But you take that lawsuit that was filed the night before the verdict was read, and then you take the letters that was written on behalf of Cassie's attorney, Dante Nash, Cassie's friend, and the lady who was his chef at one point, and they all three are saying how he's a danger and how they fear for the safety of their lives if he was to be released. And then the judge come back and denies the bail. Now, yesterday, Jesse said on his live that we were listening to, he feels that the reason the bail was revoked or denied is that the government has another case coming down the pipeline against him. And he thinks that it'll be out before October 3rd gets here. Now, here's my thing. We don't know if that's true or not. Here's what I'm saying. Right, Widow Love 33, that makes a whole ton of sense. Regardless if we want it to or not, that makes sense. It makes sense. So, we're going to go. Remember, they didn't bring that up. They could have. They didn't know. But we're going to keep going. Let's go.
Much salt causes hypertension.
Hold on. Let me. Still a commercial. Sorry.
Are these barely legal women that this agent from the Department of Homeland Security was talking about? Cassie was of legal age when she was dating Diddy, and her age is well documented. Jane was of legal age when she was dating Diddy, and her age is well documented. Okay, Gina, who was a victim who mysteriously went MIA during the trial and never ended up testifying, she was of legal age when she was dating Diddy. All of the victims who were mentioned during the trial were adults. So who are these barely legal people that the officer was talking about when he spoke to the New York Post back in March of 2024? Where are these people? Why weren't these victims called to testify? You know who else wasn't called to testify? Jonathan Odie, who has been sitting in prison for 7 years without a trial. He was the first person to come forward back in 2018, and he was saying that he was doing these freak-offs with Cassie before anybody knew about it. And Jonathan Odie says that he heard phone calls.
And remember, Jonathan Odie is, he was one of the SMEX workers, the dinner freak off with Cassie and Dippy. But he's also the one that was I forgot what he was doing, but it was at the Trump, one of the Trump hotels. And they arrested him. And he said that he mentioned this in 2018. And see, this is that goes to one of the things I'll be trying to tell people, like this. Because everybody wants to say, well, it's a money grab now, and everybody's just, no. Some of us have been knowing about this. A lot of people have been knowing about this. It just wasn't, it didn't go to court. It was covered up. It was stuff like that. And the reason why it was covered up is because of the people that he's aligned with. It's vital that people understand that. Like I told you all, I moved to Nebraska the first time in 2006. And that song, Me and You by Cassie, just came out. It was hot. And I remember that, if you're a music lover like I am, there's just certain songs that can take you to a place in time, and you just automatically know what that place in time, you'll never forget it, right? And so we had just moved to Nebraska in 2006, and that song was out. A couple of years later, I was hearing talks of how he treated her. And the words were, this is what was being said: Cassie was basically being raped in every hole in her body. When she was around other men, she was not to make eye contact with them unless he said it was okay. That was 2008. So I love that song too. Widow Love 33 said, yes, bestie. Rhonda said, facts. Welcome in, Rhonda. She said, facts. That was 2008. So that was what, 17 years ago? So this isn't just a new fad. This isn't just people that's got it out because they don't like Dippy. How long? What is it going to take for you all to and when I say you all, I'm not talking to you all. I'm talking about the ones that feel like he's being treated wrong or treated unjustly. How long is it going to take? What do you all have to figure out or see in order to realize that this man has gotten away with so many crimes for so long? So what do you mean he's being mistreated? And if you can sit here and say he's being mistreated, how can you not see about the victims being mistreated? No, hold on. Who was that? Zyler. Zyler, you must be late to the party. We've already said, okay, yeah, that was a bit of a reach. That's a bit of a reach of what the overcharge was. And it's just like Willie was saying. Was it Willie? I think it was Willie who said it. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the things that they do have evidence for that he got off with. We're talking about the things he's done in the past that they didn't even mention. Zyler? So no, you must be new here. We've already said that. Okay, we see that was a reach. We've already said that. Look, even when they were going to try to do the RICO thing, they didn't even go about it the right way. But let me tell you something, Zyler. There is proof of that going on. Anytime you try to extort somebody, anytime you try to pay off for a crime, pay somebody off to not report a crime or anything like that, then that's bribery. So you new here, brother. No, I call it down the middle. I'm going to tell you what it is. If it is, it is. If it ain't, it ain't. I'm just going to say it regardless of how I feel about it. And I don't feel anything about him. Let's get that squared away. But no. But as a guest, though, I need you to call it down the middle, too. You know? That's how we do it. User, you cannot extort any. Listen, whenever you have a business and you use your employees to help facilitate your crime, that is what they're considering the RICO part. I don't know how hard that is for you to get. But here's what I'm not going to do. You stay right there and you stay in that mind frame. I'm not going to waste my time on my show trying to get you to see that when it's already been stated 1,000 times, right? And it's proven. You can go look it up yourself. That's what it is. Regardless if you like it or regardless if you think that is what a RICO is. It doesn't matter. It's the law. He beat it. He got off with it. So that's what it is. Right? But I'm just trying to tell you. You know? You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right, Widow. You're right, Widow. Widow Love 33. I love you. You're right. You're right. Right. I know, because they be doing you that way. They be doing you that way, right? Right, Chris? That wasn't the first time. I hope nobody believes that. That was the only time that he done that. It's been a history of that. We can go all the way back to the female that was in that he was with when he was in college at Howard, and what the sisters that stayed in the same apartment building saw out the window, saw him doing to her out the window. But you know, we gotta let people, because you know they're Diddy bots, and I get that. I get it. So I need to cool out on that. Let's conduct this show how we supposed to conduct it, right? Yeah, Chris, Cam Porter for sure. For sure. Who buys a casket for their baby mama 3 weeks before she passed away? Come on, man. These folks got me mixed up, man. They got me mixed up. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go on because it's 11:20 and the show starts at 12, so I got to hurry up.
calls. He heard Diddy talking about a lot of business, and he also said that Diddy is a Freemason.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of
W. Chris in the live, everybody.
Well, that's interesting. So this guy, who clearly knows a lot about Diddy, was never called to testify. You know who else was never called to testify? Lil Rod.
Hold on.
Lil Rod.
Yes. Red Heat 323. Yes. A casket. Bought a casket for his baby mama 3 weeks before her, I'm going to call it, unaliving. And people are still on here acting like he's innocent. It's diabolical. That's diabolical to me.
Filed a lawsuit against Diddy where he made tons of accusations, many of which were corroborated during this Diddy trial, such as Diddy having women on payroll to engage in sex with prostitutes. Lil Rod said in his lawsuit that he had full knowledge of this, and he even named Diddy's accountant Robin Greenhill. And guess whose name came up during the trial? Robin Greenhill. She in fact was Diddy's accountant.
What did we just say? When you have employees that work for your company and they help you carry out criminal activity, it's like you're running a criminal enterprise, which is called a Ricardo. Let me stop. Let me keep going. Shout out to you, MP2MP. Welcome in, baby. How you doing? How you doing? There's multiple healthy people around him unalived by pneumonia. Girl, touche.
And she, in fact, was facilitating these payments, and it was corroborated during the Diddy trial. You know what else was mentioned in Lil Rod's lawsuit? Illegal firearms. You know what the feds found during the raid in Diddy's homes? Rubber duckies and illegal firearms. Just making sure you're paying attention.
With the serial
and that
number
was glossed over during the Diddy trial. Why did he have them? What were they used for? Who gave them to him? We don't know any of this. It was all completely glossed over.
Thank you for
and
the
why
hand
wasn't
heart,
he charged
love. I
with possession
appreciate
of
that.
illegal firearms? That would have been such an easy charge to prove. It was mentioned.
Hold on. I want to give you your applause. Thank you. Widow Love 33 says, we have the same thoughts, bestie. I'm just saying. Why would it's that they could have gotten him on all of it. But you know what, Bessie, this is why I think when they said that there's more charges coming down the pipe that they're going to use before Tuesday, October 3rd, sentencing day, I do think I think that's right. They had him dead to rights on all of this stuff. They found it during the raid. You've got with the serial numbers, sawed off on them. Heck, when they arrested him at the hotel, they found narcotics in his possession. The same narcotics used at the freak-offs. Rita, good morning. So, understand, there's so many things they could have got him on that they didn't. There's got to be a reason why.
Mentioned during the trial, but it wasn't even listed as a predicate offense under RICO. They completely glossed over it. And when you take into account what Lil Rod said about these illegal firearms in his lawsuit, it is very suspicious that this never came up at the trial.
Mr. Combs would also make me work out of this bedroom whenever he had gang members and drug dealers visit him. I've witnessed Mr. Combs hand out guns from the hidden room in his bedroom.
Andre says that they can't bring no more charges on him. I don't know. I know there's more lawsuits being filed against him currently, sir. So I believe they can. Maybe not for this, but I'm saying as far as the lawsuits that are being filed now, currently, he can still face those. So that's why people tell you, and I'm not saying you doing this, Andre. I'm just talking about the other people, right? As far as like celebrating and thinking that he's all, I mean, he's still not out the woods right as of yet. Andre, he says they can't. I've been to the feds. First of all, I hate that you had to go through that. Secondly, what do you mean, or what do you mean they can't charge? You talking about on what he got off on as far as in the verdict? Because if you're talking about that, I'm saying, yeah, I don't think they can retry him on it. They may, I don't know. I'm not speaking on that. But what I'm telling you is that the charges, the lawsuits that are filed right now, if they want to pick those charges up, he can still be charged for those. Because the charges that's coming out now had nothing to do with the trial. These are new. If that makes sense.
Closet. I've witnessed known gang members at his home in LA and Miami be paid from the stacks of cash he has in the hidden room in his bedroom closet.
Oh, and you know what else was mentioned in his lawsuit? And he even provided pictures of it, was Tucci. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't do.
These glasses destroyed a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Exactly. Right. They will be state. He was charged in federal. Right, Bestie. Thank you for thank you. A lot of people are not understanding it.
Mixed with X. And Lil Rod mentioned that Diddy made his staff carry it around, transport it from state to state, and he provided pictures of it in his lawsuit. And guess what the feds found not only in Diddy's home, but they found it in his hotel room the day that he was arrested. Pink booger sugar. And despite the fact that the day he was arrested, they found him with this pink booger sugar.
Hey, thank you for the club cheers, Amy. I appreciate it.
Found with the substance, you know what would have happened. But still, he wasn't charged with being in possession of this illegal substance.
Yes. He wasn't charged with it. And that's crazy. They have the same, he had possession of the pink booger sugar, as she said. He had that possession, and that's the same thing used at this. So they could have gotten him with that. They could have gotten him with taking pink booger sugar and other D-rugs across state line and didn't. Hashtag True Podcasters, brother. I am having to go rest. Thank you for teaching me so much. Listen, brother. I hate that we even have to do this because it definitely sours a lot of the music we grew up on. But the truth has got to be put out there. And we just try to do that. We don't know it all, but we try to tie everything together and let people know it. Just to be mindful, you know. But you go and get you some rest because in about 30 minutes we got a big event, right? Travis, welcome in. Travis Henderson says they thought they had him with what they charged him with, so didn't charge it to him. Yeah, and that was the biggest mistake, right, Travis? They should have just went hard. Like you gotta go hard in the paint. And you know what, Travis? First of all, I think when you're gonna do something like that and you're gonna charge somebody like that, you got to bring all of your ammo to the table. You know, you can't go soft on something like that. You know, especially when you're going to get somebody who is aligned with elite, powerful people. If that makes sense.
Or any of these illegal substances. It was mentioned under the RICO, which was a very difficult charge to prove because the enterprise and all that, it was a little iffy, right? They could have just charged him with possession of this substance because they literally found it in his hotel room, never charged with it. But the point that I'm trying to make is that a lot of what Lil Rod said in his lawsuit was very specific and was corroborated during this 8-week Diddy trial. And that is exactly why I believe this trial was a cover-up, because Lil Rod's most serious allegations went unaddressed. These are excerpts from Lil Rod.
Oh, what about, because she's bringing up Lil Rod's, she's talking about Lil Rod's lawsuit and what he mentioned in it. And remember, he talked about at the studio where Justin's friend, I believe it was Justin's friend, I think. We're going to say Justin. If I'm wrong, call me out on it and I'll apologize. But I think it was Justin's friend that was at the studio too. And remember the incident happened in the bathroom, and Dippy told everybody to say that it happened outside. Somebody drove by, and Justin's friend. Come on. Got it, bestie. Widow Love 33. I'll follow you. Yes, that right there.
Lawsuit, quote, Mr. Combs providing laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at his homes in California, New York, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Florida. Defendants executed their RICO enterprise with threats of isolation from the music and entertainment industry, parading powerful music industry executives such as defendants Lucian Charles Grange, Ethiopia Hebtemariam, Ethiopia H, okay, that lady, at his parties filled with workers, minors, and illegal drugs such as X, Coke, GHB, Special K, Mary.
Hold on, because I like to do some research, and I don't know that name, so I want to look that up real quick. Everybody, hold on. I want to find out who that is. I've never seen that name before. Okay, so Ethiopia, ooh, I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name because I'm going to mess it up. So we're going to call her like she did. Ethiopia H is the former CEO of Motown Records. Okay, so that's who she is. Former CEO of Motown Records. And it's saying that the defendants executed their RICO enterprise with threats of isolation from the music and entertainment industry. So what that means is if people didn't go along with what he wanted them to do or what these people wanted them to do, they would basically blackball them in the industry. Parading powerful music industry executives. What have we been talking about? What have your favorite news reporter been talking to you about? Executives such as defendants Lucian Charles Grange. If y'all don't know who that person is, you got to go and definitely is high in the elite position in the industry. And then this Ethiopia H lady that we talk about at his parties filled with SMEX workers. But it's the next word that really stands out to me. Minors and illegal drugs such as E. Cocaina, Gary, Harry, and Bob. Amines, y'all know what I'm saying. Mary Jane, Shroom, Mushrooms. Widow Love 33, right, best. The whole industry is Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. Widow Love 13, them Booger Sugar got me. I mean, that got me when she said that, boy. I was like, man. And it's funny because my baby mama used to say that stuff, man. God rest her soul.
Mary Jane and
I miss
Shrooms.
her, but
About a
man.
year ago, I did a video about a member of the Mexican cartel who accused Diddy of trying to solicit underage people for a party from the cartel, and I don't want to talk about it again in this video. I will link it for you in the comment section down below, so make sure to check out that video after this. But the point is, this accusation has come up many times, and according to the federal agent who spoke to the New York Post, there were minors in the footage. So,
Pause. In Little Rod's lawsuit, he made mention that in Miami, Dippy would basically summon his son Justin and him, Little Rod, to go out and find people that weren't age of consent and bring them back to the party.
why hasn't he been
People
held
get mad at
accountable
us for
for
bringing
it? Inquiring minds would like to know. There's also the fact that in Little Rod's lawsuit, he says that Diddy was holding blackmail material of various powerful people.
Unbeknownst to me, Mr. Combs had hidden cameras and audio devices in all of the rooms of his homes. I only discovered this several months into living with him when I had to pick up my Uber Eats delivery from the security office. Usually, the security would bring my food deliveries to me whenever I was in Mr. Combs' home, but at this point, I was close and familiar with the security, so they called me to their room and told me I could go in and retrieve my food myself. I saw 4 to 6 large flat-screen television monitors at the time. Each monitor had at least 20 to 30 little screens in them. Each screen...
Another crime. Understand something, people. Voyeurism can be a crime. Let me give you all for instance, if you, and Lord knows, I wish this to none of y'all. Nobody, I don't wish this on y'all, but I'm just giving you a point of what I'm saying, where voyeurism is a crime. When you are out in public and you decide to go to the bathroom and a person takes their phone or takes a camera and they film you using the bathroom without your knowledge, that's a crime. Let's say you go to the bathroom at somebody's house, you're over there hanging out in the friend, they got hidden cameras set up, and they're recording you using the bathroom without your knowledge and you haven't given consent, that's a crime. Okay? So I want people to understand that, like, again, he's overcharged on what they charged him on, correct. But if you want to keep it a whole $150, he wasn't overcharged, he was undercharged, because there's so many other things he should have been charged with that he wasn't. Widow Love 33 says, y'all think this was bad. You have no idea what is coming. Respectfully. Widow Love 33 in the live. I appreciate that. Red Heat says, you were broken bad when you say why he was denied. Yeah, that's something nobody should ever say. I wouldn't say that. Rochelle says people hide cameras in dressing rooms and bathrooms, right, and that is a crime. Exactly. Widow Love 33 says that was for a reason. It was to blackmail a lot of people.
Was a view of a room in and surrounding Mr. Combs' home.
And another fact that got overlooked was that Lil Rod alleged that other entities were funding Diddy's lifestyle.
Jones says that Combs was very aware of the power he had and made sure that everyone around him knew it too. Quote, throughout my time living with Mr. Combs, he made it very clear that he did not spend his money on anything. He made it clear that he had partnerships and relationships with very powerful individuals and organizations, and these individuals and organizations funded his lifestyle.
Pause. Now, the reason why that is important is because we just found out that the adult beverage company, De Leon, that he was in partnership with, was basically giving him money. They wasn't making money. They was taking a loss in revenue. And so they brought him on to basically boost up their campaign or marketing. And it worked. When they brought him on for that, he did end up making them see profit gain. However, the thing about that is they were already paying him nicely. In addition to his mother and Justin, his son Justin, they were all, De Leon was paying them too. I know, I said the same thing. For what? Them two? For what? But Justin lost his when he got the DUI charge. They stopped doing that. His mom, I think she still got it. But the thing about it is, Dippy went to them and asked him for more money. And even though they were paying him a certain amount in the beginning, he would go to them and say he wanted to be paid more. They would be fearful of him leaving and them not being able to see the same profit gain. If you know about business, you want to be in the profit gain, right? You want to be in that area. So they were afraid that if he walked and stopped doing that for them, then they wouldn't see their profits anymore. So they would pay him the more money that he wanted. Then it got to a point where he was asking, I believe it was $200 million, I think, Don't quote me on that, but I think it was $200 million. And they was like, the buck's up here. No, we're not fixing to do that. And then he goes and started a smear campaign, basically filed a lawsuit saying that they was racist. So that's what we say started this whole trial thing and got it all kicked off, was that right there. And as I've told you all before, I'll convey it to you again for those that don't listen. The liquor industry makes our country a lot of money. Have you ever noticed that up until recently, if you got caught with any kind of Mary Jane, you went to jail? It was a crime. However, you could find a wine and spirit or liquor store on each and every corner. Heck, in Jacksonville, there's a liquor store right smack dab in the middle of the HBCU campus of Edward Waters College. And how many times do we hear about people drinking and driving and unaliving people, but it's not illegal? When have you heard about people, and I'm talking about, I mean, it's got more leeway now, but I'm talking about before now. How many times have you heard about people having some Mary Jane and then going out and unaliving people, anything like that? Anybody who, and I'm not trying to promote it or anything. I'm just speaking from my experiences with it. If it's pure, now if it's laces, it might be something else. But if it's just pure Mary Jane, that's all you got. The only thing you want to do is eat and go to sleep. You ain't trying to go out and hurt nobody. You don't care about nothing. But that was illegal. But the very same thing that would cause you to go out and take people's lives, if you was under that, they was okay with selling that. It wasn't illegal because it made our country a lot of money and still does. Exactly, Rochelle. Amy says, and the drink stores stay open during that C virus. Exactly. Because it makes the country so much money. So now the higher ups, okay, it's 11:41. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, listen. So the higher ups that are all about the money, that has allowed and afforded Dippy to have this lifestyle, he's going and starting this smear campaign about this business and asking them for more money. Then he files a lawsuit against them, thus far breaking or causing friction within the business dealings of our country in that liquor license. That liquor company. So they're like, no, you messing up our money after all we've done for you. You're going to court. You're going to jail. We're going to get you on some things. Now, like I said in the beginning, if it was just the elites trying to give him a slap on the wrist to let him know that they still run things, then he'll get off on the charges. But if they are completely done with him, he's going to stay in prison and he'll be guilty of all them charges. Now we see he got off with the major ones. So there was a slap on the wrist. However, I do believe there's more lawsuits coming down the pipe and he's going to have to face it. All right, let's keep going. I'm sorry, I got to hurry.
He bragged about departed attorney Johnny Cochran's savvy legal skills and ability to pay off the witnesses through private investigators and other third parties. Mr. Combs also informed me that only poor people pay taxes. He shared that it is a common practice in the music industry to wire money from anonymous accounts overseas. This way, if there is ever a need to take care of a problem, it would never be traced back to him. These accounts...
Here's how to never have to worry about money after a car.
Sorry, the commercial came in. For those who don't see the Rico, she's telling you Rico all day. It's he. I'm sorry, he. This is Lil Rod's lawsuit. He's telling you Rico all day, man. I don't see how y'all missed this.
People have accused Diddy of running a vast blackmail operation, and that angle wasn't even touched in the criminal investigation. The big elephant in the room just sat there, and we all had to act like it didn't exist because celebrities kept denying that they participated in freak-offs. One after the other, they all said no, we don't know anything, we're shocked, oh my gosh, we had no idea, oh my gosh, we had no idea. I wasn't invited to the freak-offs, I have no idea I don't know. Even Dave Chappelle had a really funny bit about it.
A lot of my friends ask me, they say, Dave, did you know anything about those freak-off parties? I'd be like, nah, man. I didn't know anything about the freak-off. And they all look at me like...
That's how we be looking at people.
Like, well, how are these people you know was at freak-off? but you's the only one that wasn't at the freak off. And I thought about it for a minute. I said, oh my God. I'm ugly.
But here's the thing. In my opinion, people
Shout
are
out to Dave
asking the
Chappelle.
wrong question. The question isn't, did you participate in a freak off with Diddy? The question is, while you were in Diddy's home, did you do anything that you wouldn't want the world to know about? Because according to the feds, Diddy had cameras and microphones all over his house. And it just makes me wonder if this entire investigation was a covert operation to retrieve whatever intel Diddy had in his possession. Because it is very interesting that zero footage from inside
Yes, he
his
does,
homes
Amy. He
were
speaks
ever
true.
brought up during the trial. Despite the fact
I love
that the
Dave
feds
too.
had
He don't play.
confiscated it. And if Diddy did have blackmail materials, who has it now? And what do they plan to do with it? These are the same questions that we have about Epstein. And Diddy was just as much entrenched in the elite power structure as Epstein was. For example, Ron Burkle. Back in 2003, Ron Burkle invested $100 million into Diddy's fashion brand, Sean John. Ron Burkle is also the godfather to Diddy's children, and Ron Burkle had ties to Epstein, and he often flew on Epstein's private jet alongside his good friend Bill Clinton, who often was in attendance too on these many occasions. There's also Clive Davis. In 1993, Diddy founded Bad Boy Records, and he was able to fund his record label by doing a joint venture with Arista Records. Arista Records was co-founded by Clive Davis and run by Clive Davis at the time. Arista provided funding and distribution deals to Bad Boy Records. And it was also rumored that Clive Davis and Diddy had a sexual relationship. So when Bad Boy Records first started, it was being propped up by Clive Davis's company, Arista Records. And Clive Davis had a very close relationship with Diddy. Well, Clive Davis has a very close personal and financial relationship with members of the Mega Group. The Mega Group...
Yeah, Bill Clinton. Hey, Rochelle, I know I liked Bill too, but him and I tell you something else that's been mentioned too. I'm trying to approve your comment. I tell you something else too. Obama's been mentioned. Yeah, I was about to say that Widow Love 33 got me, and there was somebody else who Obama, Biden. Biden's been mentioned too. Ellen, yeah, Ellen's one. Now, of course, an orange guy hasn't been named, but we do know. We've seen the pictures, the videos, of the flight logs, the logs, so we know. But that's why the list hadn't been.
Provided financing to Clive Davis throughout his career, and they also connected him with very
Oprah.
powerful people. Now, what is the Mega Group, you might ask? Well, according to Wikipedia, the Mega Group was an informal group of influential Jewish entrepreneurs involved in Jewish affairs. It was founded in 1991 by Les Wexner and Charles Bronfman. It is said to have had up to 50 members, including Hollywood director Steven Spielberg. Jeffrey Epstein is said to have used the group to build up his network of high-ranking contacts in business, media, and politics. So Epstein used the Mega Group to build up his network, and so did Clive Davis. And who is Clive Davis's protege? Anyways, that's all I have for this video. Let me stop talking before I get myself in trouble. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button if you are not yet subscribed.
I'm going to hit the like button, and we're going to subscribe to her. Why? Because she's preaching facts. She's stating the facts, and that's just what it is. Yes, TD, have you ever been swallowed? Have you ever been swallowed up? Mr. Power Bottom, TD Cakes. Yes. Widow Love 33 says Pope, and I hope everybody, and I hope everybody caught what the red shoes were symbolizing. Terry says she's on point. Welcome in, Terry. Yes, she is on point. She is very much on point. Widow Love 33 said, let's get G Smooth 404 a Patreon. Please, hey, if you do, I think we should go there so we can get all the real truth out. I think that way, because it's really hard to bring a lot of this knowledge to you all. And for us to have a freedom of speech on here, such as Widow Love 33, who's highly knowledgeable about these same things as well. and Jenny, and it's just so many, Rochelle, a lot of us, right? And it's just hard to say it because this platform won't allow us to do it. But also by having to do that, you have people come in and make it seem like you don't know what you're talking about. When, again, I don't know it all, but I know a lot. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. You might not like what I'm saying because it's a person that you like or been following, but hey, listen, I love Bill Clinton. I thought he was a great president. But I'm sitting here seeing not videos, but I'm sitting here seeing pictures of him in places that he shouldn't have been in. And so when somebody say, well, he was there, I'm more inclined to believe that because I see that. You understand? Full of heart and soul. I love your handle. And I don't know if I'm following you, but I'm about to because I like that handle. All right? No, I'm not. And I just followed you back. I like that. So here's what we were just listening to. This is segment 2, Full of Heart and Soul. This was segment 2 of the show. We're about to wrap it up now. But this was, her name is Niecy. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat. Hold on. I'm going to put it in the chat for you all. If you go on YouTube and look this up, that's who we were just listening to. Yes, on YouTube. I'm going to try to, let's see if it'll let me. Let me see if it's going to let me. It may not let me. I'm going to try to, yeah, I'm going to pin it. Okay. I pinned it right there so you all can see. That's my backup account as well. If you all aren't following my backup account, please go and follow my backup account as well, just in case this platform gets banned as my original one did for bringing true content. So, yeah, definitely go and give her a follow. That was my first time ever watching her video or listening to her. We did it together, and I can honestly say that I like her. I believe she knows what she's talking about. She calls it down the middle, seems. So I will definitely be following her. Well, I'm already subscribed to her on YouTube. So I'll definitely be I got to go and click the bell so I can get notified when she comes on or posts content. But this brings us to the end of our show, everyone. Once again, I appreciate you all for joining me on this great Saturday morning. Do not forget that in 9 minutes, if you go to YouTube and follow Global Impact Wrestling TV, we will be on there having our big show. Full of heart and soul. Thank you so much for that heart me. I appreciate it. Let's give it up to let's give it up to Full of Heart and Soul for becoming the number 33 fan in our fan club. Thank you so much for that support. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You all enjoy the rest of your day. Please be safe out there. I would love to see you back when we meet again. Don't forget, go and look at shout out to Whistleblower for Justice organization. It's an organization that I am a brand ambassador of, and we are geared towards providing proper legal representation for inmates that are up for appeal or going to the court, having court cases that they need legal representation for. Also bringing awareness to prison guards and correctional officers who are corrupt, and for the inmates that are living in inhumane conditions, as well as partnering with organizations, companies, and businesses that will allow inmates upon their release to give them an opportunity to get reacclimated with society and become productive citizens of our communities and lessen their opportunities of reoffending again. You can follow #TruthPodcast on here or on YouTube, where it spotlights independent pro wrestlers, former and current wrestlers. you go on there on YouTube, you'll see your self-proclaimed favorite news reporter and host. My interviews on there, documenting my 26 years in the pro wrestling career, my 26-year pro wrestling career. If you've missed past episodes of my show, hashtag I'm Gonna Say It, then please follow my channel on YouTube, GSmooth404. Click on my videos and just click on the folder that says hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. You'll be able to view some of my past shows on there. Thank you to all my gifters. Thank you to my moderators that are here. And last and definitely not least, thank you to all of you for joining the show today. And remember, people, you could be anything in the world. Anything in the world. Be somebody. Full of heart and soul says, love your content. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, love. I humbly appreciate it. And thank you for being here. Please come back. And remember, I love you all. Peace and blessings.